Hi, I'm Molly. Welcome to Savvy Looks. I like to take old, outdated, or worn down furniture and give it a whole new life. I got this piece today at a thrift store and I knew it could be really cool. It was a mid-century modern style dresser, but it didn't look nice. So I thought that with a little bit of paint, a little bit of updating, it could look really cool. And this is my process on how I painted it, how I made it look nice, and how I sold it. I found this dated mid-century modern Bassett dresser at a Habitat for Humanity thrift store. I knew that it could look really cool with some refinishing, so I took off all of the hardware and cleaned it really well inside and out with a degreasing cleaner and made sure to rinse off any soap residue with water. Once the piece was super clean, I started sanding. I gave the entire piece a scuff sand. I focused a lot on the top because it was solid wood but had a plastic laminate over top that made it a really slick, shiny surface, and I really wanted to scuff it up well for good adhesion. For the rest of the piece, I sanded more than you would typically need to sand for traditional scuff sand, but I wanted to go through the surface to sand out a bunch of bumps. But in general, you probably don't need to sand as much as I did because it caused more bleed through later on. I sanded the entire piece with my 3x4 electric ray surf prep sander connected to my shop vac. A lot of the drawers had scuffing and scratches on the inside, so I went ahead and just sanded out all of the scratches on the insides. Despite all my sanding, I still needed to use some Dixie Belle's Dixie Mud to fill some scratches. I like to line my paint tray with aluminum foil to make my cleanup easier, and then I used Kiehl's shellac-based primer over the entire piece with my foam roller. Priming ended up being really important for this piece because of how red-toned and stained it was. It had lots of wood tan and bleed through later on. And here you get a better look at just how cute these little gold feet are. They are definitely the reason why I decided to buy this piece. The next day, I sanded off any of the roller texture with my sander and a fine grit foam abrasive sanding pad. My sander was connected to my shop vac to get rid of all of my dust, and I made sure to still wipe off all of the dust before I got ready for my first coat of paint. Before I moved on to my paint though, I wanted to address the hardware. It was original to the piece and the original gold paint was flaking off, so I decided to use a foam abrasive sanding pad again and sand off any of the flaking paint. Before I repainted the hardware, I wanted to clean it really well, so I put it all in a container and soaked it in distilled white vinegar for 24 hours so that I would be able to better clean it. I used a cleaning toothbrush to clean off all of the hardware, and then once it was dry, I took it out and gave it 2 coats of gold spray paint to just freshen it up and make it look new again. To protect it, I gave it 2 coats of clear spray gloss top coat. To address the gold feet, I cleaned them off with the help of my dog Mo, and then I used gold spray paint, which I kind of just sprayed into its lid and brushed it onto the gold feet to just brighten them up a little bit. They were already looking pretty nice, so this just gave it a little bit of a revamp. Now that I was finally ready to actually start painting, I used the color Chiffon Cream by Rust-Oleum's chalked paint brand. I brushed it on with a 2-inch zebra brush and used a spray bottle to thin it out as I went to try to get a pretty smooth finish. I really tried to keep all of my brush strokes going in the same general direction to give it a smoother finish. Here's where the bleed through that I mentioned earlier started to reveal itself. Little corners and edges where I must have either sanded through or not gotten enough primer originally on started to show themselves and turn pink. So I used little detail brushes and my original primer to go over all of these areas and the feet, which I had forgotten to do initially, and cover everything up. I then sanded lightly between coats to get a very smooth finish and started on my second coat of paint, covering up all of those little spots where I had just primed. total, I ended up using about 3 coats of paint. Now that my painting was all finished, I used a zebra fan brush to apply top coat. I used Dixie Belle's Gator Hide top coat, which is their toughest top coat on the entire piece. I used 2 coats of gator hide on the entire piece and an extra 3rd coat of gator hide on the top and drawers of the dresser because they were more high traffic areas that I figured people would be touching more often. I applied Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter with a rag to a few of the drawer slides to help everything slide easier. Now for the best part, I used Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter on the insides of the drawers, particularly the ones that I had sanded the scratches out of, to freshen everything up and give it a really great orange scent. And then there I was, applying my Big Mama's Butter to my last drawer, watching Netflix as I did it, and then... First. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, it chipped the paint. So I went back and re-wood filled and re-sanded and repainted and resealed. After that slight setback, I was ready to reattach the hardware, which is another really great part where you can really start to see the entire dresser come together. Well, here it is, all finished, and I could not be happier with this dresser transformation. Well, there you have it. That's my mid-century modern dresser transformation. I really like it. I'm a big fan of the cream and gold combo, and this was the first time that I was able to sell a piece of furniture without ever even having to list it on Facebook Marketplace. This dresser was just sitting in my garage when somebody came to pick up a different piece of furniture I was selling, and she decided she wanted it, which was really great because I could tell that she loved it and I loved it, so I was so happy to sell it to her. I ended up selling it to her for $450, and I spent about $75 to make it, including the original piece, and that gave me a $375 profit. If you want to see more dresser or furniture transformations like this one, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at savvy.looks. Looks spelled L-O-O-X, to see all of my previous dresser and furniture transformations. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Ended up putting in about $50. Alexa, 75 minus 45.
75 minus 45 is 30.
I spent $45 to buy this dresser and spent about 30. She's cream and gold. I'm very neutral today. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is breathing in the background. If you hear any snoring while I'm recording this, it's because my dog has decided to camp out on my bed while I film it.